The next great resource for local weather is now available.
DigitalWeatherDesk.com is your source for up-to-the-minute local weather. Add DigitalWeatherDesk.com to your favorites, download our app, and follow me on social media. The Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank.
Hey folks, good morning. Thanks so much for joining in, taking time out of your day as we get ready for storm potential to return to the forecast later this week, specifically tomorrow. Could see some showers as early as today, maybe a few overnight thunderstorms as well. Today's forecast made possible by ServPro, Monroe, West Monroe. Water, mold, fire damage. Call or click servpro.com for more. I-20 traffic cams, courtesy of LADOTD. Everything seems to be moving smoothly on this Thursday so far at about, 7:37. I was going to say 20 minutes till, but it's really, in the morning time, every minute matters, and so it's actually 23 minutes till the top of the hour. I didn't want somebody hearing me over, their phone and going, oh, no, I'm later than I am. Nah, you got a whole extra 2-3 minutes that I was going to give you credit for. Anyway, visibility is still an issue for some spots, specifically across southern Arkansas this morning. It's not a significant, impactful issue, but visibility is down for a lot of spots. Across southeastern Arkansas and the Mississippi Valley, there may be some areas where the visibility drops to less than a mile, but most of us are faring okay in terms of fog currently across the area. Most of us are in the mid-60s, 66 in Monroe, 64 in El Dorado, 64 in Vicksburg. Again, we were in the 50s to low 60s to start the night last night, but it's just been a general warming trend since 11, midnight, somewhere in that ballpark, and that warming trend continues today. A lot of us could approach record highs again today. We broke a record high in Tallulah-Vicksburg yesterday, or at the Tallulah-Vicksburg Airport, which is technically in Mound. And then we also tied a record at the Monroe Regional Airport yesterday as well. Could see some records fall again today, just depends on, those types of things when you're talking about a matter of a degree or two in either direction. Just matters of it. Maybe we'll get a little bit of peak of a sunshine here or there as we go through the day. That could boost temperatures. It just depends. We'll just wait and see. Dew points are quite soupy in the low to mid 60s. Again, typically you can support severe thunderstorms with dew points higher than 55, but really you want them higher than 60. The higher they get, the more water you can inject into a thunderstorm, and also at the surface plays a pretty important role in terms of feeding surface moisture into thunderstorms as well. Not expecting storms today, maybe a few showers. An isolated storm can't be ruled out, but most of us will stay storm-free today. Can't guarantee that we'll stay rain-free. Sonia, Onithia, Janet, Kay, good morning. Thanks so much for joining in. Check the Drought Monitor. This was just updated, I would say, about 5 or 10 minutes ago, and it shows now severe drought conditions expanding across the vast majority of the Arklamis region. That shouldn't be a surprise, considering we just went through the third driest December that Monroe's ever seen. For a lot of areas, it was a top 5 dry December, and November was dry. October was dry. So a lot of these areas, we've been rain-starved for several weeks or months now. So to see severe drought conditions in January, that's kind of weird, but considering the rain totals that we've seen, it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. Moderate drought conditions for the vast majority of the remainder of the region. There are still some spots that are just abnormally dry. You should consider yourself fortunate, because the rest of us really need the rain. And even those abnormally dry areas, they need the rainfall too. Check the infrared satellite, and activity continuing to pick up across portions of central Oklahoma. Look at the radar made possible by Brown's Roofing. Schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. And we've actually got stuff on the radar, which is something we haven't been able to say a lot for a while now. May, good morning to you as well. Storms continuing to make their way through portions of the Plain States, mainly through central sections of Oklahoma this morning, Oklahoma City and southward toward the I-35 corridor, and where we have a few different severe thunderstorm warnings and now 2 different tornado warnings out just to the southeast of Oklahoma City. All of this moving off to the north and east, and really looking for the highest concentration of severe storm potential to stay well to our northwest. This is much closer to that lead disturbance as it ejects out and moves through the region. We've been talking about that all week and how the better ingredients for storms through the day on Thursday would miss us to the northwest. Here's that in action. Check a futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. Hello, Miss Bonnie. Thank you so much for joining in, Miss May. Winds back out of the south. Showers start stirring across the area as early as this afternoon. Again, not really expecting thunderstorms, just some scattered showers through the course of the day. Cloudy, humid, gloomy, just kind of a gross day across the area. Overnight rain chances, 3, 4, 5 a.m. And you're going to see in the convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center that much of the Mississippi Valley is under a marginal risk for severe weather today, and we really probably won't see storms through most of your Thursday. So you're probably going, well, why are we under one? Well, again, as I mentioned yesterday, those outlooks are technically issued from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. from one day to the next. So today's severe weather outlook technically goes until Friday morning at 6 a.m. And there is the potential, and a lot of the computer models have been insistent on this, that during the pre-dawn hours tomorrow morning, we could get some storms that develop out ahead of the main front, kind of in this weird area near the surface. We call it a confluence line. It's just basically an area where a lot of air is merging together. Prefrontal trough, perhaps. But there's some feature that is insistent on generating some shower and thunderstorm activity during the pre-dawn hours on Friday. I'm going to show you a few different models that say the exact same thing. But the better ingredients for storms will set up with daytime heating through the day on Friday. And I think the best chances, to be honest, should be along the Mississippi Valley. Also depends on how that early morning activity kind of disrupts the environment. We're working with some pretty limited ingredients in the overall grand scope of things. An area of low pressure at the surface will help to maximize wind shear near ground level. As it moves off to the northeast, storms will continue. Futurecast, this is the Barron 3K model. It's even trying to insist on keeping storms into the area late Friday night into early Saturday morning. I really think by late Friday night, most of this stuff should be out of here. A midnight storm along the Mississippi Valley is not out of the realm of possibilities. This is another computer model. This is what we call the HRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Model, HRRR. All of these computer models have different letters. It just sounds like a bunch of alphabet soup. Again, overnight, early tomorrow morning, still insistent on some kind of development along the Mississippi Valley, with more widespread development with daytime heating through the course of the day. Again, all of these kind of show different evolutions of how the storms evolve and advance through the area, but they still generally show the same thing, with most of the activity advancing off to the east. The other thing that you'll notice, and one more, this is the NAM, the North American model. Again, this is early afternoon stuff, overnight stuff, 2 a.m., and then additional thunderstorms as we go through the day and daytime heating. And again, it also tries to keep the storms in early Saturday morning, which is a little odd. Again, timing is still meh with this overall activity. But the one thing that you'll note from a lot of those computer models is that they really kind of have us in a dividing line where areas to the northwest, like Zone 1, Zone 2. Like areas Zone 1, storms are possible, but it's going to be a much more conditional potential for thunderstorms. Zone 2, you folks could see not only the potential for strong to severe storms, but you could also be running into multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms with the early morning storms and then the afternoon and evening and nighttime storms as well. So obviously you folks probably are setting up with the best potential for heavy rain threats. We'll get to all of that in just a minute. We've been talking about storm energy for a while, and what I've overlaid with the storm energy as we go through the daytime hours are surface winds. And you can note that those winds should be quite breezy at times through the course of the daytime hours today. And as we pull up storm energy, Kate, convective available potential energy, we only have so much limited stuff we can work with through the course of the day. That's why, again, we expect cloudy conditions, warm, humid conditions. So the warm, humid air creates some instability, right? But then we've got overcast skies. We don't get a lot of sunshine today. Daytime heating is up there, but we just don't have enough pooled up to generate storms that far away from the better meat of this storm system. There's just not enough there for today. Overnight tonight, we continue. Hey, so this is what I was talking about. Note, winds coming in here, winds coming in here, and they're all converging and creating this strong conveyor belt of winds here. That's a confluence line. And so that's what we're kind of hinting at that could see some early morning development Friday. And again, it all has to do with convergence at in the low levels of the atmosphere. Note that as we get storms to develop through the day on Friday, we really kind of peak in terms of storm energy and ingredients across the I-20 corridor and southward during the early afternoon. By early afternoon, storms start developing. It overturns the atmosphere. We wring out whatever storm energy we have. We're working with limited amounts, right? There's only so much to go around for the entire region. Once we start generating showers and storms through the afternoon and evening, we start taking a lot of that cape. We start taking a lot of that energy, and we don't really replenish it because the cold front will move through, and then we're just kind of done. See, there's the front approaching, so the atmosphere really doesn't get much of an opportunity to reload Friday evening into Friday night before the front moves through, and then we're done. Hope all that makes sense. It makes sense to me, but this is what I do for a living. Here's a look at the severe weather threat for today. And again, this severe weather threat goes into early tomorrow morning, and that's why the eastern half of our area is under a marginal risk for severe weather tonight and tomorrow morning. Damaging wind gusts would probably be our biggest concern. The severe threat through the rest of the day on Friday is a slight risk, level 2 out of 5 categories. And it includes the vast majority of our area. Susie, Janice, Debbie, Beverly, Daniel, Lana, Marlene, Leah. Thank you so much for joining in. Again, when the weather gets more active, folks hop in and pay more attention, which is rightly so. I don't blame you. Don't need to listen to me talk every day if there's nothing going on. Slight risk, again, shows the potential for damaging wind gusts and tornadoes. That's probably our biggest concerns with any storms tomorrow, given the stronger winds in place. Hail will be possible with any supercell storms that can develop, and supercells will be possible. But I think the hail potential is a smidge more limited. I think it's really going to be more winds and then isolated tornado potential. Obviously, multiple rounds of thunderstorms could lead to some localized street flooding and flash flooding concerns. But again, not everyone will see multiple rounds of thunderstorms and see extreme rain rates. Those rain totals will be scattered, and I say this a lot. Scattered rain chances and scattered storms yield scattered rain totals. Some spots will see a quarter of an inch of rain. Others may see 2 or 3 inches of rain. It just depends on location. And if anyone tells you that they can tell you who's going to see the most rain versus somebody else, they're lying to you. But remember that zone 1, zone 2 thing we were just talking about? Northwestern half of the area probably seeing more limited coverage of thunderstorms and a little bit more limited potential. You folks probably have a better chance of seeing smaller rain totals. Folks along the Mississippi Valley likely to see the higher totals. That's just how things appear for right now. How things appear and how things pan out, two very different things. The excessive rain outlook for today, again, focused along the Mississippi Valley. If we were to get some very early morning showers and storms or some late night showers and storms that could train over the same areas, the excessive rain outlook for tomorrow, slight risk along the Mississippi Valley, marginal risk for everybody else. Again, that's a 4-category thing, not a 5-category thing. And I've always found that weird. We went to 5 categories with the severe weather outlooks, and we were with excessive rain. They were like, nah, let's keep it at 4. Which is weird. They used to all be 3. Carolyn, Becky, Patty, Evelyn, Ida, thank you so much for joining in. Mid-70s for highs today. Could see some records fall. It just depends. Winds will be out of the south. Some spots could spike up to 77, 78 degrees. Just depends on location and conditions at where you are. It just depends. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason as to whether you land at 76, 77, 75 on a cloudy, gloomy, gray, muggy day like today. Winds will be out of the south. They will be quite breezy at times, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Lows tonight fall back into the mid to upper 60s. Cloudy, warm. The overnight scattered storm potential will be possible. The best chances of that in the southeastern half of our coverage area. Think Mississippi Valley. Those folks probably have the best chance of seeing those scattered storms, but anybody could, in theory, see them as we go through the day tomorrow. Look at the through the early morning hours tomorrow. Look at the 7-day forecast. Obviously, the storms become more widespread as we go through the day on Friday, along with the severe weather threat that we will keep an eye on through the course of the day. A little bit cooler for Saturday, a lot of bit cooler for Sunday, Monday. I'm going to do a full deep dive into those temperatures. I say deep dive. I'm going to look more closely at those temperatures here in a couple of hours as we get more model data to come in. But I do expect most of us to drop below freezing by Monday morning. Obviously, much more coming up through the rest of the day regarding tomorrow's severe weather threat and how that pans out across our area. Speaking of preparing for severe weather, if you didn't see what I posted last night, just a few reminders. As storms approach our area, you always want to make sure that you charge your mobile devices, be familiar with your surroundings, common roads, towns, cities, parishes and counties, and be ready to act if warnings are issued. Review your severe weather plan with your family and stay alert to the latest weather information. We also always encourage you to have at least 3 ways of receiving severe weather alerts or multiple ways of receiving severe weather alerts. And here at the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank, we do give you 3 different options. First off, the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. That is 100% free. The alerts that you receive from it are 100% free. I also encourage you to purchase a NOAA weather radio. It is an investment in your safety. Most of them generally run between $30 and $40, and they can be found at places like 3B Hardware. And so, again, you can pick those up, program them. They will wake you. They are quite loud and quite obnoxious. And that's what they're designed to be, and to wake you up in the middle of the night. And we've also teamed up with Weather Call Next Gen. We just finalized that yesterday, and we are really excited about that. But Weather Call Next Gen is a service that will call you, text you, email you, or all of the above to let you know that a warning is issued for the address that you input, whether it be a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. You'll hear my voice. I recorded all of the messages, so you'll hear those. And it's $15 a year. It is a paid service. $15 a year translates out to about $1.50 a month. You can gift those subscriptions to family members and friends. All of those links can be found at digitalweatherdesk.com. There's a tab that says Weather Call Next Gen. Click on that, and it'll give you all the information. Again, for $15, not a bad deal. Also, the real quick before we split, regarding Weather Call Next Gen, that it does set up for one address, but you can also use the Find My Phone feature or Find Me feature, and you can take those phone calls with you and change your location. If you go on vacation and you're going to be gone for 5 days, you can change the location. So you get phone calls for one spot, but you can move that spot all the way around. And those phone calls come from one number, so you can set that number up as, weather call or whatever, and put it to filter past your Do Not Disturb. So if you turn on Do Not Disturb when you go to bed at night, you can set it up to where that phone call bypasses your Do Not Disturb, and so you'll always get the alerts even when you're sleeping. Again, just another little extra layer of security. And again, if you have the app, you have Weather Call, and you have the NOAA Weather Radio, you really don't need anything else, at least in my mind. Too Long Didn't Read comes out at 9:30. We've got a lot of stuff going on today. Your next update in terms of convective outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center. Day 1 will have a new update come out. They just had a new update, but they'll have another one at 10:30. The Friday outlook gets updated at about 11:30 this morning, so I'll take a look at it, and I'll bring you those updates. Obviously, the 11:30 update coincides with the midday stream pretty handily, so we will cover that midday. I'll have another stream with you, a live stream with you later this afternoon. Also, another quick note, It looks as though our streaming software has made some type of small change to where we can now live stream in landscape mode for some platforms and portrait mode for others. If I have time to mess around with that today, we may start trying to live stream on TikTok as well. I don't know. Can't promise it because there's other stuff that we've got to. But as many platforms as we can utilize before severe weather, I would like to make that happen. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. I'll check in with you later today. Thanks so much for stopping by. Enjoy your Thursday, everybody.